Good day and welcome. Today what we're going to do is we're going to actually cover the EduInk format. So this is a very short clip on what the format of your paper should look like during the exams. Let's begin. If this is your page that you're going to be working on, there are a couple of things that you have to have on it, and it should be in this order. You should have your name, which you will then underline like that. Your name needs to go on the top left hand side. Underneath that you will have your surname. And that too should be underlined. On the top right hand side you will have your grade, which should be underlined. And underneath that, you should have the date. Now, I know most of you are familiar with writing the topic or the subject in the middle, but what we're going to do for the exams is we're going to move it over to the left-hand side. The reason for this is that then at least you don't have to try and guess roughly where you're going to stop writing, and then it doesn't become in the middle of the page, it goes more towards the right. So for your exams, we recommend that you keep the topic and the subject on the left hand side of the page. So it should be subject, which should be underlined as well, and then the topic. So an example of this would be English Home Language, Paper 2, Comprehension and Language. That is what you should be writing underneath subject and topic. Then you'd need to skip 3 lines. This is so that your teacher can record your mark on the cover page, on the front page. Okay? So you skip 3 lines so your teacher can record your marks, or maybe even give a little comment. Okay, then you rule off. Please use a ruler at all times. You should also draw a margin on the right hand side of the page, and it will look like this. Do not write in the margin. The margin is exclusively for your teacher to record the marks. So do not write there, otherwise it becomes very difficult for your teacher to tally up your marks in the end. Okay. Most exam papers have a question. So it will start off question 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. If that is the case, then it should be question 1 in the middle, which you will underline, and then on the left hand side you will write 1.1. You will then answer the question. At the end of your answer you should skip a line. So you skip 1 more line before you move on to the next one. Okay? And then you start 1.2, answer it, and you repeat as many times as you need to. At the end of the question, at least for the intermediate and the senior phase, you will rule off and start the next question underneath that. I know that some teachers in the FET phase, and sometimes even in the junior phases, will insist upon the new question being started on a new page. So read your instructions carefully, because you don't want to make the mistake of not writing a new question on a new page if your teacher requests it. So for the juniors, you would skip a line after your last answer, and then you would rule off and start question 2. You repeat until all your questions are answered. What is very important though is that at the end of your page, on the right hand side, right at the bottom, you will write the page number so that the teachers can record where all your pages are. Okay. Once you have completed page 1, you then have to start with page 2. Okay, that's a good question. When you write in the answer on the left hand side, does it need to be in the margin? No. As a general rule, do not write on the margins at all. So now you've finished writing on page number 1. Page number 2 looks a little bit different. For most of you, that would be the back of page 1. This is what it should look like. You will continue to draw a line on the right hand side of the margin. You do not write in the margin. You will write the next page number. So in this case, it's page number 2. But there's one more thing you need to add, and that's your name. At the top of the page on the left hand side, you write your name and your surname. At the top line, yes, name and surname. On the same line at the top, and you underline it. Okay, and then you continue writing your answers. So it might be a case of question 3, and then you write all your answers using the same format as I showed you in question 1. And then you just repeat your answers until the end. And that's it. So every subsequent page after page number 1 has this format. A margin on the right hand side, which you don't write in. A page number on the bottom of the page on the right hand side. Your name and surname on the top left hand side in the same row and ruled off. And then you just continue answering your paper as normal. This needs to be repeated until the very end of your exam, which you will then rule off. Thank you so much for joining us.